Raise your hand if educational videos on social media is part of your small business marketing. Now, also raise your hand if you tried to release those on even short forms and no one watches them. So a lot of people are getting into short form videos, which is great. But the problem is that a lot of people are trying to do education through their short form videos, and then they're not getting watches on those, and then they're wondering why no one wants to watch them. Which can be really frustrating because sometimes we feel like we're producing the exact same video that someone else produced and their video got a ton of views and ours didn't. So let's talk about what's working, what's not working, and how to create videos people actually want to watch, even educational ones. So here's the biggest problem with most educational videos people are posting, even through short form videos, and that is that most of us are turning into bobbleheads. That's where we stand in front of the camera, we talk at the camera, and we just kind of move our head around a little bit, and it's just not really that engaging. People come to social media for entertainment more than anything. Yes, we love that connection and feeling like we found our tribe, but really and truly, if we look at what most people come to videos for in terms of social media, it is for entertainment of some kind. When we find a video where someone is just talking at the camera and info dumping, even if what they're saying is important, unless there is some reason we're just fascinated with that individual or something going on around them, usually we just end up kind of skipping over the video. Just remember that a lot of times you're building your educational videos based on what you know is important for other people to know because you have spent all of this time in the industry. They haven't, which means not only do they not have the context you have to understand why this matters, but they don't owe you their attention either. So how do we fix this? First and foremost is framing. Now, this is most of marketing, is finding the angle that they care about. Not necessarily the one you care about, but the one they care about. So instead of talking about, well, this peg is purple and this peg is blue, what's the difference? You talk about how do you tell if your suppliers are cutting corners based on the color of the pegs. Second, make sure that your educational videos are tapping into emotion and curiosity. You want someone to watch your video and feel seen, feel curious, feel heard, feel like they can join into the conversation. We have to start not just framing our videos from what matters to them, but then we have to make sure the actual education part is interesting. Why do you think we started adding in all the pop-ups? Thirdly, we have to keep in mind that there are more delivery options than just talking bobbleheads. In fact, if you will challenge yourself to start thinking about how could I deliver this same information through a sketch or a performance instead of just me talking at the camera. It may take a little bit more time to figure out, but I guarantee it will go a lot further because it's entertainment. Could you share that same information through an overheard conversation format? Could you do a visual demo with a voiceover, again, making sure your framing is coming at it from what matters to them? Could you do behind the scenes shots and video clips, but again, coming at it from what is it about it that matters to them? If you'll start looking at your educational videos from that frame alone, even if you don't implement anything else we've talked about, that will make a massive difference for you. A few quick and important keys. Number one, especially in short form video, use one idea per video. If you have a concept or you have something that really could go 3 different directions, instead of doing one video that talks about all 3 things, do one video that talks about one video that talks about the next, and one video that talks about the third. Number 2, make sure that you have a scroll stopping hook. Your hook is your first 3 seconds and your visual setup of that video. There's got to be something that makes people go, woo, wait, okay, I'm interested. Make it a question, make it a meme, make it a point of view. Talk about fear, pain points, something that makes them go, ooh, I have to know. When possible, try telling a micro story instead of trying to educate them. Because if I tell you that you need to be careful about who you hire for your at-home care for your parents who are aging in place and don't want to go to a nursing home, then you know that's important. But instead, if I tell you about a story of someone who hired the wrong person and here's what happened, that sticks. It does education, but it does it in a way that people resonate with. If you do decide to talk to the camera, you can. There's plenty of videos that do that and get quite a bit of reach. However, a few things to keep in mind. 1, you're going to want to make sure that you have punchy edits. Cut all of the tiny little clips between your sentences. 2, keep the tone energetic and excited. 3, use either text on screen or motion or something to keep things moving and don't just fall into the trap of sitting on your background and just talking to the camera. Remember that education is incredibly helpful for a lot of small business owners, especially once someone gets to know your brand. Those education videos can be what pushes them over the top to actually make a purchase. But you need to teach through a format they enjoy, not necessarily the one you default to. We can be educational and still be entertaining. We're allowed to show personality, and the bobblehead is out. Start making videos that people want to share. And remember that a lot of times we try and put that really cool thing at the very end of the video, thinking that people will get to the end and then go, wow, that was awesome. The problem is they don't get to the end to find that super cool shareable thing. So just move it up sooner, or at least allude to it, hook to it, so they know they got to get to the end of the video. Education is still an effective way to market your business, but it does have to be done in a way that works today.